Satoru Gojo, Mr. Aura Former. Gojo isn't just the strongest sorcerer, he's a walking game-breaking glitch. His infinity ability, it makes him untouchable. His 6 eyes lets him see cursed energy at a molecular level, and his hollow purple deletes anything in its path. But what really makes him terrifying? He loves to flex. Gojo doesn't just win, he embarrasses opponents, gets in their heads, and makes them question their life choices before effortlessly wiping them out. Fighting Gojo isn't about winning, it's about realizing you've never had a chance.
7, 8, 9, and that should do it.
Caesar Clown, the evil genius of punk hazard. Caesar Clown is what happens when a mad scientist decides ethics are optional. His gas fruit lets him suffocate, poison, and melt enemies with a smirk. But his real weapon isn't gas, it's manipulation. He lures enemies into thinking they have the upper hand, only to flip the script when it's too late. Behind that goofy grin is a ruthless tactician who doesn't just fight, he makes sure you never get to breathe again. For this video, I'm going to explain Gojo's abilities first, then Caesar's. And only then am I going to put them up against each other to see who's the strongest fighter. Satoru Gojo. His moves are Limitless. This technique grants its users nigh absolute control over space through cursed energy manipulation at an atomic level, with the manipulation of space as just the base level of the technique.
Sound?
Infinity. Being the neutral form of Limitless, the true power of Infinity is to slow things down. When something attempts to hit Gojo, the person or object in question instead hits the infinity between himself and them. According to Gojo, this is a convergence of infinite series and comes straight from the paradox of Hercules and tortoise. Akin to the way of Archelaus will never catch the tortoise due to the potential infinite amounts of finite space separating them, or how the real number 1 will never touch the real number 2 due to the infinite amount of fractions that separated them. The opponent will never touch Gojo due to the infinity between them. Gojo has programmed Infinity to be constantly active and automatically target and protect him by discerning the danger levels of approaching objects based on their cursed energy, intensity, mass, speed, and shape. Cursed technique Lapse Blue. The reinforced version of the neutral Limitless. Blue is the byproduct of Gojo amplifying the Limitless with negative cursed energy, producing a vacuum. Through these, Gojo creates a scenario where the world itself is forced to correct itself and fill in the negative space, causing all matter in the range of commanded space to be pulled together. Cursed technique Lapse. Maximum cursed energy output Blue. Gojo creates a center of gravity in a specific space capable of attracting all matter, crushing it all effortlessly, akin to a black hole. He can also move the point of gravity at will, augmenting its destructive capabilities greatly. Cursed technique Reversal Red. Being an inversion of blue, red has the opposite effect. By flowing positive energy generated from the reverse curse technique into his Limitless technique, Gojo inverts the properties of blue and activates the divergence of infinity, causing an extremely powerful repulsive force that blasts targets away. Red's output is at least twice as much energy as blue. Hollow technique Purple, an advanced technique that collides the lapse and the reversal of the Limitless, resulting in the creation of imaginary mass that is then launched at the target to deal destructive damage. Reverse Curse Technique. Gojo performs this technique and taps into the core of cursed energy, granting him the ability to not only heal himself but also make the positive energy flow into the Limitless, giving him access to his red and purple techniques. During his duel with Sukuna, Gojo survived the onslaught of slashes from the Malevolent Shrine by using his reverse curse technique at full power. Additionally, Gojo further demonstrated his expertise with reverse curse technique by using it to replenish his burnt out curse technique, an unprecedented and seemingly impossible feat for even talented sorcerers like Yuta Okutsu. Curtain. Gojo can create a barrier that surrounds a certain area. The barrier can seal the area off from other people or a specific person wanting to get in. New Shadow Style, Simple Domain. An anti-domain technique that neutralizes a domain's barriers and its sure hit effect in a set area of space around the user. Gojo normally doesn't need to resort to doing this. Falling Blossom Emotion, a secret art and an anti-domain technique exclusively passed down into the big 3 families. It shrouds the user in cursed energy, which counteracts a domain's sure hit attack the moment it makes contact. Normally, this technique can nullify a domain's attack. However, it only weakened the damage from the Malevolent Shrine due to the domain's high output. Unlimited Void. Gojo's domain expansion. It creates a metaphysical space that causes the victims to receive all kinds of stimuli and information endlessly, restraining their thought process and actions. In terms of raw strength, Gojo's domain is equal to Sukuna on the inside, only losing due to the Malevolent Shrine's open domain that allows Sukuna to destroy the barrier of Unlimited Void. Gojo's skill with his domain expansion is so great that he can precisely activate it for 0.2 seconds, limiting his lasting effect on those he traps within it, and is able to freely change the conditions of Unlimited Void barrier. Gojo himself and those he makes physical contact with are immune to this effect. 6 Eyes. These eyes grant the wielder incredible perception and precise control of cursed energy technique. Even when they are completely obscured, the 6 Eyes function like a high-definition infrared vision, allowing the user to perceive their environment through the flow of cursed energy. These eyes allow the user to see through a sorcerer's cursed technique and determine its nature. The extremely precise manipulation of cursed energy granted by the 6 Eyes allows the user to activate their cursed technique with incredible levels of efficiency, resulting in almost zero cursed energy loss due to inefficiency, which lets the user use competitively less cursed energy than others when activating the same technique. Consequently, the 6 Eyes are essentially for using and mastering Limitless technique. Black Flash is a phenomena in Jujutsu that greatly amplifies the user's physical strike when cursed energy is applied to it within 1 millionth of a second. It's a distortion in space that occurs when cursed energy is applied within 0.0000001 seconds of a physical hit. When a sorcerer is able to achieve this, their cursed energy flashes black, and the destructive power of their strike is equal to a normal hit to the power of 2.5. Caesar Clown. Caesar Clown is a gas man. He can turn into gas, making him intangible and also being able to manipulate and control gases. Like all Logias, he can create an infinite amount of his element. His moves are Gas Robe. Caesar generates a cloud of poison gas and sends it towards his enemies. He claims to have conducted many experiments with this gas to the point where he is sure that breathing it will cause certain death. It's probably a mixture of poisons. Castanet. Caesar fills a pair of castanets with unstable gas and slams them together to create a massive gas explosion. He can increase the strength of the attack by surrounding the targets with smaller flammable globs of slime and detonating them. Karakuni. Caesar removes the oxygen from around him, asphyxiating everyone within range. Nanshoki. Caesar concentrates flammable gas in the area, then attacks by throwing lit matches, causing a big ball of fire to form and incinerating whoever is inside of it. Blue Sword. Caesar concentrates oxygen. The oxygen removed by Katakuni can be used on a special weapon. This weapon is a bladeless sword that doubles as a lighter. By activating the lighter, Caesar creates a blade of oxidized flames which can be used to slash and burn his opponents at the same time. The blue blade is so hot that a mere slash sets everything on its arch on fire despite not making contact with the weapon. Gasteel. Caesar shoots a beam of lit gas from his mouth that explodes on impact. According to one of his subordinates, the explosion can reach temperatures hot enough to melt steel. Its appearance and effects are similar to Kizaru and the Pacifista unit's laser beams, but wider and a different form of explosion. Shinokuni. After absorbing the gas of the chemical weapon, Caesar gets a new form. In this form, his size increases dramatically. He gets more horns than usual, the color of his outfit is changed to the color of the gas, and the kanji for death and land are written on his chest. The power of this technique seems to be the ability to acquire the properties of the gas. When Luffy attacked Caesar in this form, his arms became coated with the poison. Despite the attack defeating Caesar, this poison turns people into chemical statues that look like stone. Comment down below on who you think wins, right now. Feats and win conditions. Speed. Now time to debunk some JJK rumors. Kashimo is not massively hypersonic just because he can create a lightning discharge. Attack speed does not equal combat speed or travel speed. Also, his other attacks don't equal that speed either. The reason he doesn't have that speed in general is because no one in that verse has shown to dodge that attack. Even when Kashimo's in his mythical beast form, it's not stated that he moves at that speed. Kashimo's EM waves is what I've seen them call in some translations. I'm not sure if they are, but let's assume they are EM waves. Nowhere is it shown to be an actual attack. These EM waves are covering his body, and even covering his sound wave attacks. He's pretty much a glorified microwave outputting insane radiation dosage. But let's give Kashimo the benefit of the doubt, and say it's actually an EM wave attack. Then that means it's a close light feat from Sukuna, right? Wrong again, it's aim dodging. Also, Gojo wouldn't equal the Sukuna either. Gojo's speed would be equal to the Sukuna he fought against, not the one that was more powerful. One last point to make about speed. Toji reacting and dodging lightning is an anime-only feat. I tried to find the manga panel but I couldn't, so no one in JJK can scale to that or above that. But even if I did scale Gojo to the anime-only clip, the outcome would still be the same. So non-canon feats aren't needed. Caesar Clown, on the other hand, was able to catch a base Luffy off guard multiple times, given that Luffy, even in his base form, has demonstrated faster than light reaction speeds like dodging pacifista lasers, pre-time skip, and reacting to Kizaru's lightspeed attacks. This implies Caesar is at least comparable in speed. Attack and destruction potency. Gojo's Hollow Purple destroyed all this, so like at least large town level up to small city level, but you also have to take into account that this Gojo is powered up, so this feat isn't his alone. So he should scale lower than this, but I'll give it to Gojo because he needs it. Now Caesar has no real feats, but he should at least be stronger than Hody, who could fight a nerf Luffy underwater who's at minimum island level by this point. So Caesar is island level. Comment down below with your opinion on the results, or comment again if you change your mind. Just reply to your own comments. Win cons. Oxygen removal. Caesar's most dangerous ability is his oxygen manipulation. He can create a large area devoid of oxygen. This ability is a hard counter for most opponents, and it doesn't rely on a direct physical attack, but rather on environmental manipulation. Gojo only has one way to win, and that's to use his domain. By using Unlimited Void, Caesar wouldn't be able to keep himself in his Logia state, making him an easy target. This match might sound very one-sided, but it's not. Gojo's hacks allows him to hold his own against Caesar based on their personalities and their track record. Caesar would start with a poison gas from a good distance away. Caesar fights very cowardly, so he fights from a distance, unless he's antagonized or is forced to fight hands-on. Gojo's Infinity should be able to block because it's always on, and it can stop poisons. I'm not 100% sure if it can stop all poisons, even ones that don't exist on Earth, but let's say it does. Gojo's first thing would be to use blue, but it would be too slow compared to Caesar's reaction time. As soon as he sees Gojo getting ready to attack, Caesar would know his poison has failed and use Gastanets. Before Gojo can even finish blue, Gastanets is a large explosion that wouldn't per se hurt Gojo because of Infinity, but it might be powerful enough to send him flying from the force. If this fails too, Caesar is done playing, and he'll use Katakuni. Katakuni is Caesar's attack where he cuts all oxygen in his range, including the oxygen inside of you. Caesar's attack works in a really fast way. He takes the oxygen out of you really fast, and Gojo isn't fast enough to operate to escape that move. He would need to be able to think and move faster than guys who are faster than light. The reason I don't include 6 eyes is because it's useless against another verse. His 6 eyes are perfect for his verse, but they don't do anything against verses that have any other power system. This is because the series states that his 6 eyes work by analyzing cursed energy and cursed techniques, and see the flow of cursed energy and cursed techniques. This combined with Gojo's intellect makes the technique busted in the JJK verse. It's basically a pseudo precognition. Gojo wouldn't be able to analyze and know what Caesar's doing. There's also a massive difference. While Gojo is still analyzing what Caesar's doing, Caesar has already started to do something else. At the speed Caesar moves, it's almost like Gojo's moving in slow motion. Now to everyone who's gonna say, Gojo would start with Unlimited Void, you're just wrong. I put Gojo's fighting style through my percentage program, and based on all his previous fights, Gojo has a at max 10% chance of starting with Unlimited Void, and that would only be after he gets attacked by Caesar and notices his 6 eyes don't work on Caesar. Gojo will always start with Infinity and 6 eyes, because they're always active, and then go into blue for offense. Gojo's cocky and playful attitude would work against him in this fight too. And also, Caesar doesn't have the aura to scare Gojo into using Unlimited Void right away. Finally, Gojo's reverse curse technique will not work. What Caesar does is to cut oxygen all around and inside your body. That's why it works so fast, and it speeds faster than what Gojo could react to. And finally, the reverse curse technique heals you, but it doesn't create more oxygen for you. Now I'll explain why certain techniques won't work against Caesar. Blue is useless because Caesar is gas, and can create more gas, and change where his true body is at a faster rate than what Gojo can pull him. Maximum. Using Maximum by pushing Caesar away also isn't going to work because he can do what I said earlier to avoid Maximum. Red isn't going to do anything either because, like I said, Caesar can create an infinite amount of his gas and move his true body around that has to avoid the push, and the explosion won't do anything because he's a Logia, meaning he's intangible. And purple isn't going to do anything against Caesar because he's a Logia. He's intangible. The only way any of these techniques could land on Caesar is if Unlimited Void is already active and he's still under the effects of it. Caesar's ability to remove oxygen from large areas is a major threat. While Gojo's Limitless can block physical and energy-based attacks, it's clear it can't protect him from the environmental manipulation like oxygen deprivation. If Gojo activates Unlimited Void, it's an instant win condition. However, Caesar's massive speed difference allows him to disrupt Gojo's concentration or escape the domain's range before it fully activates. Caesar is overconfident and loves to toy with his opponents, often underestimating them. However, he's also highly intelligent and will adapt his tactics. If he realizes his initial attacks aren't working, this mixed with his cowardly nature will lead him to use oxygen removal early in the fight, giving him a significant advantage. Gojo has a calm, analytical, and cocky nature for rarely taking fights seriously until he needs to. His confidence in his abilities will lead him to underestimate Caesar's speed and environmental manipulation. The outcome: Caesar's oxygen removal and faster than light speed give him a strong chance of winning. He can exploit Gojo's reliance on oxygen and land decisive blows before Gojo can activate his domain expansion. However, Gojo's Limitless technique and Hollow Purple provide him with a devastating offensive capabilities that could overwhelm Caesar if he lands a hit, but that's only if his Unlimited Void is able to activate in the fight. Ultimately, the fight will end in less than a minute. Caesar's speed and environmental manipulation give him a slight edge in the matchup. If Gojo can survive long enough to activate his domain expansion, he could turn the tide. But Caesar's oxygen removal is something Gojo has never fought against and works too fast to respond to, leading to Gojo's defeat. Winner: Caesar Clown.